Johnny, thanks very much for joining us in the chair this week. First for the Six Nations, and great to have you here live on our Facebook page. First of all, red letter day for you recently. You joined social media for the first time. Well, the first time publicly. You're getting a bit of a burn from some of your teammates and former teammates, but you're giving as good as you get on Instagram and Twitter at the moment.
Yeah, I had to get with the times, I suppose. I'd been an egg, as the lads said, for long enough. But I'm enjoying it. Like, you know, it's good crack with the lads, and it's an important part of, I suppose, sharing your experiences with everyone. So still getting used to it. I wouldn't say I'm too good at it, but getting there.
We noticed on social media last week the guys were posting some pictures from the warm weather training camp in Spain. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that was all about and how it went?
It was a good week, actually. It was nice for a change. It's something that we haven't really done with the Irish team since Joe came involved, and it was good to get away. It was good. The first 4 days we were there, the weather was brilliant, which allowed us to have a little bit of downtime at the start of the week, and then got into some real tough work towards the end of the week. Now our last day was, we might as well have been in Ireland. It was that cold, but look, the facilities were good. Like I said, it was just something to freshen things up, and I think it got us off to a good start for what's hopefully going to be a long campaign.
Is that kind of thing important? I mean, you guys coming in from the provincial setups, you're coming in off a run of, you know, a lot of big games out of the interprovincial derbies and then the European games. So, you know, to try and get into an Ireland mindset, is it important to kind of just get away and maybe, you know, take that time to readjust to each other?
Yeah, I think it's you come off you know, really high pressure games with the Irish Interpros are obviously the biggest games of the year for us. Europe obviously is huge as well. So you come off the back of, we had I think seven games in a row that were really, you know, high intensity, really tough games. So it was important to have that little bit of downtime, you know, to get reintegrate. There's a lot of new faces as well, so it's important to sort of get those guys integrated into the group. And you know, at the back end of the week we got some really good work done as well.
And you mentioned the new faces there. It's a real hallmark of this squad, isn't it? I mean, I think, is it only about 8 or 9 of the guys featured in Paris about 2 years ago that are in the current squad? So it's a real kind of change up in personnel.
Yeah, it has been, but it's been great. You know, it brings a real freshness to the group. There's still, you know, a few of the old heads floating around, but it does bring a real freshness to the group, and you can feel that energy when you come in. And those new faces, they had a big impact in November. You know, guys like Jacob Stockdale coming in and had a great couple of games on what was only, I think, his third and fourth cap, or even his second and third. And you know, hopefully we'll have the same impact from a few guys in the Six Nations now. I'm
sure coming in for them, it's a daunting prospect. And I mean, thinking back to maybe when you came in as a new cap, but is it also a daunting prospect for the older guys? Is it sort of looking over your shoulder going, here's these young pups coming in, putting a bit of pressure on us?
Of course, yeah. Look, you're never too comfortable in this environment, especially with the coaches that we have, that they're always wanting guys to improve, and that's why it's such a great place to be. Is, you know, there's a lot of pressure on you to perform day in, day out, and almost then when it comes to Saturdays, that you know, a lot of the hard work is done during the week. So yeah, look, you're always looking over your shoulder, but at the same time you're always looking ahead, you know, in terms of personally trying to get better. And I feel that there's still more in me, and I want to sort of get that out before the end of my career, really.
And you mentioned you got a good bit of groundwork done in Spain last week. We're back in the familiar surroundings here in Carton House. So what's the plan this week from an Ireland camp perspective? You know, how does the week flow for you guys?
Yeah, I suppose it's good to be back in Carton now, because it really sort of focuses your mind. This is where we spend all our time before test matches, and the week, I think, is so similar, you know, for these games. And we know we train Monday, Tuesday morning, then we disperse, and we got a bit of time at home Wednesday, back in Wednesday evening, train here Thursday morning, and then fly out. And you know, the game comes around pretty quick when the week is structured like that. So yeah, lots to get done. I suppose early part of this week, we got a lot done in Spain, but we need to tidy up a few things, and hopefully that'll put us in good place for Paris on Saturday.
People might think that, you know, once you come into camp you should be training all week, and you mentioned it there, you get a bit of a rest period there on a Tuesday evening and Wednesday, and you get time to go home. How important is that, one, the rest as much as the training, and two, the chance to get home? I mean, you've got a young family, and so that time to get away from the camp and just recharge, I suppose.
Yeah, I think, well, that's when the real work starts for me, when you get home to the kids. But Look, recovery is a huge part of it. That's why we structure the week the way we do, that we have that period in the middle of the week that we can sort of get ready for Thursday. But when we're on the pitch or we're in meetings, we're working really hard. But then when we're off, and it's time to recover and get ready for the next game. And I think it's where maybe our point of difference is how well we recover and how fresh we are come Saturdays.
And this Saturday, obviously, the first game of the NatWest Six Nations, it's France. You have a familiarity with the French setup from having played against them obviously so many times, but also your time in France. Are they having a similar type of week to us this week in terms of their preparation?
I'm not sure, to be honest. It's been a long time since I've been involved in that setup, but look, they've got a new management as well, so it's a little bit gone into the unknown for us. I think whilst a lot of the players that we're going to be playing against are similar, we're not exactly sure how they're going to play, so we really have to be ready to cover all bases and know their, I suppose, individual players really, really well, because again, we don't know what type of plays they're going to play because of their new coaches. So we got to do our even more analysis on their players and know them inside out. So a lot of work to do.
There's that old cliche when you're playing the French of you never know which French team is you're going to be playing against, which French team is going to turn up. But the home advantage thing for French teams and for France in particular is huge, isn't it? How intimidating and how imposing is the atmosphere in Stade de France?
Yeah, look, they're a very proud nation. They don't like to lose at home. They don't like to lose anywhere, but they're especially at home. And I think, look, you go through the games we've played against them over the Six Nations over the last few years, and they've all been really, really close games. And I think it's going to be no different this week. It's been touch and go, and a lot of those games come down to small moments. So we know that it's a very physical game over there. It's very fast at times, and it'll probably be higher intensity than anything we've been exposed to this season, I think. So we got to be ready for that mentally and physically.
There's a question came in on Facebook from Ian Hulley. He's picking his fantasy Six Nations team, and sort of leading on from that, the French. If there was a player that you had to pick from each of the other teams to put in a fantasy Six Nations team, who would it be?
Not too sure, to be honest. In terms of, well, obviously, if you're a kicker, you get more points, do you?
Yeah.
So just pick all the kickers.
So Ian, there you have it. Pick all the kickers. Johnny, listen, thanks a million for joining us today on In the Chair. We wish you the best of luck this week against France and for the whole of the tournament. And again, much appreciation for taking time out from the training today.
Thanks.